Welcome, welcome, Luminary. It is 2024. It is the first episode of Star Powered Podcast in 2024. And how perfect. This is all about the Capricorn New Moon. Now, if you're ready to get all of your goals all set up, it's not quite the time, but it is the time to decide what your story is going to be all about. So listen in. Welcome to Star Powered Astrology for Changemakers. I'm Leslie Tagorda, your guide, a Hawaii-born Filipino Jewish astrologer who loves navigating visionaries like you through the spiritual journey of your work so that you can be inspired to lead by your chart and become the luminary leader you were born to be. All right, luminaries, I'm so excited to be back. This first episode of 2024, just to let you know, we have a little bit of a different format. I'm going to be bringing in a guest, a partner on this episode. But before I introduce that partner, I just want to be like, how is everything going? Now, we are at the beginning. The page has turned on the Gregorian calendar, but astrologically, we're still kind of in that kind of deep Capricorn season where the sun is very, very much in the south. We're still near solstice season. So in the northern hemisphere, the days are really, really dark. It is still a time of sloughing and releasing and hibernating. Now, I know that this podcast is getting released, like on the 10th or the 11th, right before this new moon. And if you have been feeling like me, we're not quite yet up to that peak energy of like, let's get things done, let's get planning, let's go and re enter into our work orbit. I know personally, Jeff and I, we have just come back into our work season this past Monday, absolutely like slowly re-entering our work orbit because even though we had a few weeks off for the holiday season, both Jeff and I at the end of last year have just gone through some almost like just hit the wall. We were just pushing and pushing and pushing and just doing too hard, and we have been making some really energetic changes here at Star Power to kind of take our foot off the gas, to work much easier. And I know personally for me, my word for the year is light, because it has so many meanings, more so than like radiating and being that light that sparks light in others, but also just living a life that is light and easeful and not so dense. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, on Instagram, I'm at B Star Powered. You'll see that I posted a really vulnerable post just about how hard last year was and some of the impacts on my mental health, my emotional health, and also kind of the business health. Because ultimately, you are here as a spiritual entrepreneur. And if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, you absolutely know that if your heart and your soul and your emotions are not in alignment into coherence, nothing else works. It's kind of a backwards kind of thought when we think about running a business or being a leader, where you have to push and assert and assert. And yes, there are times to push and assert, but when we're constantly in that mode, things around start to break down and things don't go so smoothly. So I'm going to be returning back to just kind of easing back, taking my foot off the gas, and making things so much easier this year, while still giving you the astrology with a leadership and a branding focus that you want so that you can live and lead in alignment. So this new moon, and going back to the astrology of the here and now, if you're like me and haven't really been feeling like getting totally started, well, in the spring we have our Lunar New Year that a lot of Asian countries celebrate, and then we'll have our Aries season when the astrological New Year. So there'll be lots of times for renewing. But to me, this year isn't really going to spark and kick in until January 20th. Now, January 20th is a massive day astrologically. We have the sun moving into Aquarius along with Pluto moving into Aquarius. and Mercury finally leaving its shadow zone from that last Mercury retrograde. And so, if you don't yet have all of your goals and all of your ideas and all of your plans, well, there's a reason. Wait until we get closer to that January 20th, and this is going to be the sparking of that new era. So no need to push, no need to rush, get the things that you need to get done, but most importantly, just clear out. It's still a time of clearing out all the things that you no longer need, that you are done with, that you no longer want to take with you. Before I bring on my guest, I want to invite you to two things at this beginning of the year. The first thing happens on January 18th, a 90-minute workshop that I am calling the Vision Star Lab. And this Vision Star Lab, we are going to be coming together to star chart your mastery, breakthrough, and expansion in 2024. So like I said, when we get closer to January 20th, it's going to be so much clearer about the goals and what we want to really achieve. And so, this Vision Star Lab is a planning workshop where we are going to be taking the guesswork out of our goal setting and planning. We are going to be focusing on what we are meant to master this year based on where Saturn is in your chart, where we need to break through based on where Uranus will be hanging out in your chart, and where you need to expand based on where Jupiter will be in your chart. So we're going to be connecting your goals to the bigger picture of the energetic year. You're going to master and know where you need to focus and rise up to the challenge. You're going to expand and explore where you need to exceed your expectations, and you're going to break through and tune into where you need to break free to take those quantum leaps into playing big. So if you want a 90-minute group workshop with me, a strategic vision plan, this beautiful 12-month calendar, printable calendar, as well as digital calendar, and the full report for 2024 in the stars for entrepreneurs and change makers, you can get all of this for only $77. Head to my website, starpowered.com. And this is for agents of change. So if you want in on that Vision Star Lab, that's happening next Thursday, January 18th, it's only $77. Now, if you're a Star Powered Circle member, do not buy this. You already get this included. Now, if you are a mover and shaker and you just want one-on-one with me, I have 5 spots left in late January for a year ahead reading. This is a 90-minute one-on-one with me so that you can know your optimal launch dates, you can plot your energetic seasons for your work, you can assess all of your opportunities and challenges, and so that you can lead with easeful impact in 2024. That I have, again, just 5 spots. There's times that I have allotted for that. Head on over again. It's also on the homepage of my website at starpowered.com if you're a mover and shaker and want a year ahead reading with me. Got only 5 spots. Okay, so enough of that chatty chat. Let us bring in our guest today. I want to introduce you to April Millar. Hello, April.
I am so happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me. So I've had April on the podcast before with her business partner, Christina Jenkins, and April Millar is a Taurus sun, Virgo moon. So we got some earthy goodness all in a Leo rising wrapper. So it's gonna be fun. And if you are on my mailing list and get our star cast, and I'm so sorry we didn't send out the January star cast, that just kind of slipped through slip through all the things this year. Maybe we can send it later, April. But if you've been receiving those star casts, you might have noticed a couple of little voice changes in the last few months because April Millar has been helping me write those star casts. I tapped April because she just has this gift of astrology, and she's actually in my first cohort of the Astroband certification. And this first cohort of 6 beautiful souls will be graduating and getting their license in February. It's just been such a dream. April, how has it been going through the certification?
goodness, it's been a dream, honestly. And I knew when you about a year ago, I feel like announced that like, okay, I'm getting ready to do the certification. I was like, whatever it takes, Leslie, please pick me. So I felt so honored, honestly, that I get to be part of this group. And it has really been such a transformational experience, being in this group with these women, with you, with Jeff, and spending essentially every other week together, where we get to really dive into the nitty gritty and really be vulnerable with each other and our charts, and to be open to like the information of learning it, but then also like it feeling really very much a peer thing, which honestly I never thought I would be there. So I just like, I feel so proud of myself, and I feel so grateful for you. So
Yeah.
I'm just it's been awesome, really, really, truly.
Oh, thank you, April. The Astrobrand certification is built around the curriculum of my Astrobrand method, right? So, what was it? What did it feel like learning astrology from this particular lens of leadership and identity and making our mark through our brand?
Ooh, that's such a good question, because honestly, there's nothing else like it. Out there, there's so much of the like regular astrology. Like, how is this affecting my day-to-day life? How is this like, what's happening with the stars? What's my personality kind of thing. But from the lens of literal branding and taking who I am and making it like be a structured thing in my life through branding, through like how I show up to other people. And honestly, yes, we all have businesses, but in the well, actually, I don't even know if we all have businesses, but we all have
Yeah.
the leadership aspect of life. And it it it's been a different approach to astrology that you cannot find anywhere else. Like, and in fact, I was talking with Christina, one of the other cohorts of the certification, and we were talking about how grateful we are to you and your approach, not only through Astro Brand, but it's just like everything is, it feels like achievable, attainable, and not scary, if that makes sense. Like you have the ability to bring astrology where it's like, great, here's an obstacle or an option or like a strategy or mastery or structure or whatever. Like the words that you use, the approach that you take, everything about it is like, oh, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all for us.
So how are you going to work with it? And so anyway, because we were just like following some not following, we were talking about some of the like cosmic weather and how it
Yeah.
can be interpreted as scary,
Yeah.
but really, thankfully for your influence in our lives, it really has, it's now just like opportunity. So
Opportunity, choices we get to make, preparations we get to plan. So when in the certification, how we have it designed, it's like there's curriculum that we have to learn, just the viewpoint of astrology from the branding and leadership perspective and our strengths. But then there's also that mentorship, that the group mentorship that we were talking in, the one-on-one mentorship. And it's always in the mentorship, it's always been my goal for you to be able to find your own voice in astrology and apply it into your business and in your interests, and really help mold and give kind of like some business coaching and consulting to really help you launch your astrology business. How has that impacted your business and what you know and love about astrology in your own way?
oh, like so much. It has impacted so much, because I um I feel like what I've learned through the Astro brand has implemented it, so not only for me, so like I'm actually now like because my specialty is parenting astrology. I love it. I feel like every time I talk to another parent, they're usually have something to say about their kids, and I'm always like, yes, they do come with a manual actually, and in
I
fact.
did come with the
And
manual.
let's dive into that. And so, and they're always like, what? So it's, I love that astrology has given me that, but Astro Brand has given me the ability to become an authority in this, and to use my own astrology as a leadership tool to like position myself essentially as an expert. And I just like, which is huge for especially I feel like entrepreneurs in general, but I do get nervous of like with the or I have, I guess, got nervous with um imposter syndrome. With, of
Mm,
course, there's
yeah.
other people that know more than me. Why should I? But honestly, through Astro Brand and through the mentorship and through all of that has really helped me to see like, oh no, you're supposed to, like, this is your framework. Like, here you go, you can. And it's like, oh, okay, I will go with it. So
I love how
it's
that
been good.
works with, I mean, for people who don't know April, like you have five children, right? And you also had
Yes.
a used to be a doula, and so you're very much involved in like the lives of children and parenthood and those relationships. And of course you have both Leo on the rising and the second house cusp, the sun in Taurus in the 10th house. Like it makes so much sense on how you've been able to really align with your own star powers to bring this into your business. And you've just begun. I mean, you're going to get your license in February, and I just can't wait to see you take off. And I really appreciate everything, how you've been helping already support me in my business with some of the StarCast writing. And I want to talk about this new moon in Capricorn with you.
Yes, let's talk about it because it's a good one.
It's a
It's,
good one.
I mean, it's a good one. I like it.
Tell
I
me, tell
like
me
it.
what you love about this new moon.
Well, I love that for the most part, it's kind of an over, like, a broad perspective or an overview of the potential for this year.
Yeah.
And so kind of getting into it because we're still in the shadow zone for Mercury.
Yes.
We just got out of retrograde with Jupiter. So there's still some like slow energy around that. But at the same time, like from everything that was going on in December, it feels like there was kind of this like almost like a cloud cover. And with this new moon, it kind of feels like, okay, let's get you a little clarity here. So it's opening up some clarity. And I love the questions that were written in the Starcast. Can I just
Oh,
read those?
yeah, so let me pull up the chart. If you're watching this on video on YouTube, we're pulling up the natal chart for our Capricorn new moon. Capricorn new moon happens on Thursday, January 11th, 3:57 a.m., 7:57 p.m. Go for it, April.
Hey. All right. So these are the questions that we put in there. So it's telling you that if you don't have like all the details, don't worry. It's really just big picture direction
Yeah.
about what do you want to achieve? What do you want to change? What do you want exceeding your expectations?
Yeah.
What do you want to empower? What do you want to experience? And what do you want to activate? So, really supportive energy and like, okay, let's just get a good big picture here.
Yes. Well, when we think about let's talk about Capricorn for a little bit. And if you want to take a deep dive into Capricorn, I have a whole episode on Capricorn. Go and listen to that because I feel like Capricorn is one of those energies that's so judged, right? Like Capricorn is the taskmaster. It's about following the rules and obligation and conditioning and so, following the rules and expectations of society and family and culture. And it's like, gets so fucking heavy. Oops, can I swear? Oh, wait, it's my podcast.
I love it.
And but what we know to be true now, as after Pluto is finally leaving the age of Capricorn, we've dismantled all of that old part of Capricorn, and now Capricorn is about our own mastery, our own expertise, and our own authority. Like, we are the authors of our own destiny, our own story. What do you want? Right? And so, thinking about this Capricorn energy, this new moon, this is an opportunity for us to plant those seeds, not of all the to-dos and all the goals and all the lists that and the habits that we want to break and keep and da 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 da. There's time for that later. This is about, like, we are the master of our own destiny. What is the story that we are going to create for 2024? What do you
Absolutely.
what do you think about that?
Oh, I love that so much because I Saturn and I have become friends actually. I really enjoy Saturn, mostly because from all intents and purposes, what I have understood about Saturn is he is here for me. He
Yes.
wants he wants to he wants me to succeed. He
Yeah.
wants me to get what I want. So he's
Yeah.
going to help me by either making things like I'm going to build the skill set that I need
Yeah.
to get to the achievement based on what Saturn is here to tell me. So
Some
yeah,
determination, some tenacity, some endurance.
yes, yes, all of the things. So and
Yeah.
I
So,
love that he
I'll
yeah,
go
go
for
ahead.
Well, the Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is just like the positioning. If you're looking at this online, tell us about how Saturn is aspected.
Oh, beautiful Saturn is he like almost perfectly just sextiling both Jupiter and Mars. So he's got
Yeah.
this, he's holding the reins on both of these like go get 'em planets.
Yeah, so like Jupiter and Mars are both in at 5 degrees of Taurus in Capricorn. So in Earth signs, we have this beautiful Earth trine, and then Saturn in beautiful Pisces, softening the load and hold, like what you said, like holding the reins in between these two kind of fiery, expansive energies. Even though they're in Earth signs, like when we read kind of what you wrote with that galvanizing between that heat and the fire and that expansion of both Mars and Jupiter. So this new moon is like saying, okay, let's go big and let's make it hard. And Saturn's like, hold on a second. No, 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 no. Saturn's in Pisces. Let's make it easy. Let's make it in flow.
Yes, and I love that we how he said that more than anything, Saturn and Pisces is like helping you understand your capacity, and especially this transit feels very much like okay, we know that it's a new year. We know that it's a big deal to like okay, we've got a fresh slate. What are we gonna do? But Saturn's there to be like okay, but what can you do? What
Yeah.
do you have capacity?
Yeah, what do you have capacity for that's going to make things feel easeful instead of so heavy and dense? Like, just like with all of the terrible things going on in the world between climate and wars and social justice, right? Personally, individually, we don't actually have that much capacity. Like, we're holding so much weight. And so, how, when we think about the story and what we want to achieve, it's like, okay, we can go big and we can push ourselves to the point of burnout, or we can choose ease. And like I said, like I was mentioning, taking the foot off the gas, and like, how can we let our achievements and our expertise and our own authority support us instead of the other way around?
Yes, and that feels very powerful.
Yeah.
Another beautiful thing that I love about, can we move on to another
Yeah,
aspect of
please.
this moon? Is
Yep.
that
Yep. Go for it.
this? We have Venus that is exactly the same degree as Chiron. And
Mm.
interestingly, and I love this so much because Chiron is, I think, going to be a big player this year, the whole year.
It's Chiron is a big player. Indeed. Chiron and I have a relationship right now.
Oh, so bless your heart. But we're all going to get to know Chiron really well because as the year goes, I was looking over the new and full moon charts over the next 6 months, and legitimately every single personal planet hits Chiron exactly at some point. So
Yep.
through the next just 6 months.
Yeah.
So I love that we're starting out with this beautiful trine to
Yeah.
Venus.
Yeah.
But and the way we described it in the Starcast is that you get to choose who you want with you on your healing journey this year. You
Yes.
need people. You
You
need each
need
other.
people. Yes. Healing does not happen alone. It happens
No.
in community with witnesses, like where we're supporting each other, where other people hype us up and lift us up, and we hype up and lift others up. It's so collaborative. I love this fire trine between Venus at 15 degrees of Sagittarius and Chiron at 15 degrees of Aries, getting closer and closer to that North Node, and that looking forward to that Aries eclipse that's coming up this year, where Chiron's going to be conjunct eclipse.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what it blows my anyway. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's like a whole like another like 5 episodes or something.
it is true. But yes, and I love what you said, like, but finding your people. So even though we're not meant to do this alone, it's a healing journey. So you want people that are going to help you heal, not help you get further into your need for healing. And
Yeah.
so because we can't therapy ourselves out of it. Like
No.
we're gonna have other people to show us
Yeah, and it's time
our
to
story.
let go of like all those energy vampires, all those people that love to be surrounded by other like sad people, other people that are not doing things. No, we're letting all of those people go, and we're connecting with like those people are there, the people there who are supporting you and awakening parts of you so that you can find your own wholeness and moving along this journey together. And like over those, when Venus is involved, not only people but the values, right? Like you surround yourself with people that have shared values.
Yes, yes, very much so. And because it's in Sagittarius, they'll want the best for you. They want the most for you.
All the
Those
possibilities. Yes.
guys,
Our hype people. Woo, woo.
hype girls.
Yes. So what else anything else you see in this chart for the new moon?
And really the Chiron and the North Node, that's going to be big next month. So we'll save that discussion too.
Yeah.
But still, there's still a lot of beautiful energy with that North Node.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of the aspects also of the new moon to the North Node, right? Like how are we going to really stretch into our not only our soul purpose, but our collective purpose? All of us as, like part of the larger whole of the organism of Mother Earth. And so how can we individually contribute and integrate our gifts, our expertise into the collective consciousness? And then there's a little bit of a wide sextile to Neptune. So just again, enforcing how can we make this easier and much more in flow. And so, for all of us, this is really that new moon that is asking us, what is the story that we are going to be creating this year? What is like the big overarching, like, what is the result? What do we want to achieve? Not like the itemized individual goals, but that big story, so that when you are at December 31st of 2024, you're looking back and you're like, wow, look at what I created. Look at this story that I authored at the beginning of the year that has unfolded in this way. So you don't need to know the characters, you don't need to know all the plot twists yet. You just need to know what the story is about. And you, my friend, are the author of that story. You are the master of your own destiny. So set that intention for yourself. Look at the big picture. By the time we have January 20th, and if you want to come to that vision lab, that'll be your time to do kind of more granular planning and, put together all of those pieces. So, April, would you mind sharing what you wrote about this particular new moon, and then we'll go into the new moon house personalizations.
So I read those beautiful questions, which I love that you brought up the collective aspect of things, because there is that square from the moon to the north node. And really it comes down to when we are in our life purpose, when we're in our dharma, when we're doing the thing that lights us up, that energy really does like combine with the collective, and it raises the vibration of all of us. So it's powerful and important. Okay, so with so many of the planets occupying earth signs, this new moon is a great time to ground and get clear on your goals and where you want to go this year. We are still in the shadow zone for Mercury retrograde, so you don't need to have all the details down yet, but having a big picture direction of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what you want to change, what do you want exceeding your expectations, what do you want to empower, what do you want to experience, and what do you want to activate? This new moon is ready to support you in building what you want. Saturn is currently holding the reins of opportunity between Jupiter, who wants to go big, and Mars, who just wants to go, and is asking, before you take off, what is your capacity? Realistically, what do you have the bandwidth for, and what is the most important? Saturn is in Pisces, is here helping you to discern what's the smartest way to invest in yourself with your energy, money, time, and resources. And join Leslie for sure in the 2024 session for the Vision Star Lab, which I'm actually super excited about, because when you were discussing that, like I was thinking about where Saturn, Uranus, and Jupiter are in my chart, and I cannot wait. With a beautiful trine from Venus to Chiron exact and the North Node, you aren't meant to go at this alone. Mm-hmm. Let this new moon help inform you with whom do you want to experience these achievements with. This year has favorable energy of letting go and healing big stories that have been holding you back, that you are ready to overcome and release. Things like unhealthy relationships, fear of playing big, imposter syndrome, money mindset, etc. Who do you want on your healing journey with you? Do you have a trusted friend or community that is going to help stretch you out of your limiting beliefs? If you need a like-minded community in your life, I'd love to have you in Starred Powered. And I like 100% like
our community is awesome.
It's my favorite. I will be there forever and always. So
thank you so much, April, for sharing all of that wisdom. And isn't it so beautiful, April's take on the astrology of this new moon and just astrology in general. So I want to share a little bit of house activations, and then we'll close up our first episode of the year. So you know that if you can find that degree of 20 degrees of Capricorn in your natal chart, the house that contains that degree is where you are meant to plant a fresh intention in your leadership, in your work, and in your life. And so today, with this Capricorn new moon, you are planting the seeds to chart your ultimate success, to write your story through your leaderships, and ... So if you're an Aries rising or have this in your 10th house, you are planting the seeds in your leadership's expertise in delivering in your ultimate mission on your work. So like, what are you delivering? What are these containers that you're creating? If you're Taurus rising or have that 9th house activation, you're planting the seeds of your leadership's and your brand's sustainable purpose and motivation. What drives you? Why do you wake up and do the things that you do? Now, if you're a Gemini rising or eighth house activation like me, you're planting the seeds for your work's deep healing and pragmatic empowerment. How are you transforming? What are you eliminating and letting go? Cancer risings or seventh house aspects. My friend, this is all about your partnership. So, in your leadership and your life, planting the seeds for long lasting partnerships with successful co creators. For Leo risings, this is for you. Is this for you? I gotta know where your 20 degrees of Capricorn is, um, April. But Leo rising or sixth house, you're planting the seeds for solid ways of maintaining healthy systems and routines. So, getting your rituals, getting your SOPs, taking care of your health, bringing in healthy habits, that's for you. If you're Virgo rising or a fifth house activation, you're planting the seeds in your leadership for sensible ways of self expression and creativity. Play is just as important as work. If you're Libra rising or have that fourth house, that's all the way at the bottom of your chart. You're planting the seeds for groundedness and wisdom traditions, really taking care of your family, your legacy, your ancestry, and all of the teachings from all of your traditions. Scorpio rising or a third house activation, you're planting the seeds in your leadership and your brand's no nonsense approach to speaking your mind. So, Scorpio, you can say less with, you can say more with less, no nonsense, cut to the chase. Don't be offended for ruffling any feathers, Scorpio folks. Okay, Sagittarius rising or second house activation, you're planting the seeds in your work and your leadership for practical investments and pragmatic values. Sagittarius can go big, but when they're investing, they have to be really, really focused and work on what's going to make the most sense, not just by flying by the seat of their pants. Capricorn risings or first house activations, this is for you to plant your brand and your leadership. How do you want to be seen as a strategic and expert identity and leader in your amazing expert roles? Okay, Aquarius risings or 12th house activations, you're planting the seeds for your spiritual tools so that you can activate the subconscious collective. Ooh, yes. That's pretty big. I want to repeat that. Spiritual tools to activate the subconscious collective. Not all of your tools have to be tech tools. Not all of your tools have to be so pragmatic. Lean on your spiritual tools to tap into and activate that subconscious collective. And for those Pisces rising or that 11th house activation, you're planting the seeds for your leadership's network and community of goal getters. Bring in your wider networks, my friends. All right, everyone. April, thank you so much for joining me in this first episode of 2024. And for the listeners out here, just thank you for spending another episode with me. I know that there's so many places you can spend your time, and it brings me so much great joy that you're spending your time with me. All right, my friends, have a most beautiful Capricorn new moon. Plant your seeds of your big picture, and remember, you are the master of your own destiny. Bye for now. As a human design projector, my energy shines more brightly because of people like you who share my work. If you enjoy this podcast and want to help build a movement of innovative astrology and leadership and spark the intuitive revolution, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, or better yet, share this podcast with your change-making besties. We will all shine brighter together as we create the future we want to see.